Good morning everyone. Sorry we're a bit late this morning. We're going to do a Yogalates class today, and what I'm going to do is most of it's on the mats to work our tummies, strengthen our back, work our legs and work on your abs, shoulders and core. So with this mat workout there will be yoga positions, and there'll also be working with blocks, balls and bands. I'm also going to encourage a little workout with the rings, so if you have them you may want to get them as well. Okay? So first thing I'm going to do is going to make my way to my mat and sit down. Once on the mat, seated, upright, straighten the back and then draw the chest towards the knees. I'm then going to stretch those arms above my head and lengthen towards the ceiling. Now it's optional if you want to place the ball behind you. You have done these before. I'm just going to start by rolling back using my core muscles to wake up and then breathe out to come up. And then deep breath in and out breath and in breath. So I'm kind of breathing in and holding and then out breath and releasing. This is just to lengthen through the spine and shoulders, allowing my body to fully stretch. Here as well, to wake up your core muscles and shoulders. Two more. Last one. Now staying in the seated position, bring one leg to the ceiling and straighten your back. Lengthening one leg, bring the arms around the knees and shoulders down. Then draw the foot towards the head. I'm going to hold that position to stretch all the way down the back of the legs for 2 to 3 breaths. And then encourage my back to straighten as I travel towards the foot. Then I'm going to do the same on the other leg. So deep breath in, stretch and hold, elbows around the knee. Feel that stretch on the leg. Nothing better first thing in the morning than a good yoga or Pilates stretch. And then again, foot towards the head, hold there for 2 breaths. Straighten the back when ready. Now draw both legs together. You may need the ball for this one just to place it behind the back in case you fall backwards. Encouraging both legs to straighten and lengthen. This yoga stretch here, filling the back of the legs, or you could make it a Pilates stretch by reaching for the toes and lengthening the back of the legs using your core muscles. Now, if you haven't done this for a long time, you will feel the tummy muscles trembling. If it gets too much, go back to one leg at a time and feel this position for 6 breaths. Feeling the stretch, lengthening the legs. Hamstrings and shoulders should be relaxed, but you're concentrating on the core muscles to hold that position. Two more breaths to hold. Don't forget, in breath through the nose, out breath through the mouth. Now bring the hands around the calves and go into a seated bridge, straightening the back again, and allow the feet to be in line with the knees. Relaxing the shoulders, hold here for 4 breaths. Now at this point in the exercise class, as you concentrate on those deep breaths, you'll find that the world will disappear around you and you will focus on your body. Now travel to the ball and curl through the back, lengthening again, one leg at a time, but use the ball to stay there and concentrate on stretching your hamstrings, then flex the feet one at a time, and you'll find actually you'll be able to reach them a lot better from here. Hold in this yoga position for 6 breaths. This just being your warm-up, allowing the body to fully stretch. Now staying here, open the legs nice and wide. We have done these before. Into a yoga diamond stretch. Feeling the inside of the legs lengthen. This is also a Pilates workout as well if you were to pulse it. So if you want to just pulse the legs by pulsing Or lifting the feet up and down, you'll feel a stretch between the legs. Now place the hands on the calves and turn out the feet and legs. Feel in this position, working on lower core, relax the shoulders. Now you will target your core muscles as well as the legs. If it gets too much for you, one leg at a time. Don't forget your breathing again. So you can hear the breath going in through the nose and out through the mouth, relaxing the shoulders again, 6 breaths. Now bring your feet together into a yoga hold here, or diamond shape again, but with closed diamond, hands around the toes, and still relying on the ball so your core muscles are also firing. I'm going to turn out the abductors or the knees to push a little further. And then we're going to really target your core muscles once you're there. So we're going to stay there for 2 breaths to start with. We're going to go into a seated happy baby pose now, placing the hand inside of the heels or inserts of the feet and stretch open. This allowing your core muscles inside the leg, glute muscles and hips to fully open and stretch. A real nice one to do. Now you start to feel the abs really starting to stretch, because obviously by stretching the legs out to the side, the core muscles are still having to hold you on that ball seated up. Tucking in the chin and breathing deeply in through your nose and out through the mouth will hold and help you to hold that position. And we're going to stay in that position and bring the hands to the calves to come up. But open the legs still in a happy position or happy baby position and reach for the feet. Try and control your core to stay upright. Shoulders down, relax through them and straight back. It's a nice challenge. If you really can't do this, do 1 leg at a time. We're going to stay there for 4 breaths now. Don't forget your breathing. Now we're going to rely on the ball from here after 2 breaths to go into a split scissor. Again, as I mentioned before, working your core muscles. So straighten 1 leg, still balancing here, and then bring the other to the ceiling. Hands around this calf or the leg that's lengthened to the ceiling in a diagonal stretch. So if you're in your home, you may want the foot to go towards your coving. That's where the ceiling meets the wall. And then remember, I'm off the ball, but if it gets too much, you can go to the ball behind you. If you don't have a ball, use a pillow. But then I'm going to try and straighten my back. So I use the core muscles and the stretch in the back of the legs and the glute muscles to feel the quadriceps holding that position. These are the muscles at the top of the thighs. Breathe in and out. Again, I'm going to stay here now 6 to 8 breaths so I fully feel a progression in my leg stretching. Now slowly bend knees and change legs. Now straighten the back if you can, but don't let the leg at the bottom touch the floor. Now go back to tabletop and hands into bridge underneath the knees. This again, a yoga position, feeling the work in the bottom. Now if you feel a little pain in the coccyx, if you open the glute muscles, you'll find that there'll be less pain, and if you roll back slightly to the ball. Otherwise, if you don't have pain, lower the feet so the heels are in line with the knee and straighten the backs again. Notice here my back is staying as straight as I can, still working the tummy muscle. Now you're going to start to feel those muscles in your lower abs. So we've been here a little while. And remember, we did both legs into scissor stretch. If you haven't, then you may want to do that now. So remember, we're swapping legs over. If you haven't already, go back here. If you have, then go back to bridge. It depends on how long you've actually held each position for. Again, 8 breaths. Now we're going to progress you. You'll need the ball behind the back for this one, or pillow, as we use the legs to go up and down and scissor the legs. Try 20 or 10 if you can't get there. Breathe, breathe. Five more. Knees in. Now remove the ball and roll down slowly with the head on your block. Or you could use the ball under the head. To release the core muscles for now, draw the heels to the bottom and gently swing the legs right to left. That come out as knees and legs together. So as we're twisting, take in your hip to each hand, gently going left to right. You will feel a stretch in the side of the body. Here, working into the waistline and lower back. This is really good for lower back if you have lower back problems. We're going to do 4 more here. And now I'm going to open out my legs so there's a gap between the knees. Remove your block. From here, drawing tummy muscles in and up, heels towards the bottom, lift to an open extended bridge. I'm going to use the legs here to support the stretch, so top of the legs. My feet now, although the legs are open, are walking or laying securely facing forwards and my heels are down. Then I'm going to lift up onto the shoulders a little further and squeeze across the glute muscles. From here, work in the glutes, squeeze them together and release. So you work here, gently squeezing all the muscles inside of your pelvis for 10 squeezes. Don't forget to breathe in and out on every squeeze. In order to squeeze and release both glutes and pelvic floor muscles, this will help the muscles inside of the pelvis and your lower back. And with the knees open, there is less pressure on the top of the thighs. 2 more. Now I'm going to walk my knees in slightly now, so the feet are facing forwards, and I'm going to roll up a little higher. But for those that have a ball or block, place it under the bottom to lift you up, to elongate the spine and to concentrate on the stretch in the back. I'm also going to add my shoulders here into a stretch. And you can use the ball if you wish, taking it over the top of the head and back to the tummy in bridge position, but also using the shoulders into circumduction to stretch from the shoulders to the hands and to lengthen all the shoulder or rotary cuff muscles. So 2 exercises at the same time now. Now if you haven't got a ball or block under the bottom, then you'll get tired now, so you may want to bring the legs down and go back up. Don't worry if you don't have a ball between the hands, demoed here, exactly the same exercise without that. Or you may want to progress at home if you have a couple of weights. You can draw them up and down to the shoulders, just be careful that you don't rush it, okay? So you've got 3 alternatives there with the arm movements. Now in that bridge position, I'm going to release the ball and walk the heel and toes towards the block, but take the heel off the floor as I extend one leg to the ceiling. Now I have done this loads last year on other classes, but today I'm going to circle my ankles in that position. So again, using 2 exercises or a small mobilization exercise with a large, and then I'm going to reverse that foot. So I've done about 6 to 10, and then I'm going to swap legs. Really good for the ankles, and you're working on balance and stability here. Don't forget your breathing, don't stop breathing, don't hold the breath. Now we're going to lengthen the spine by removing the block or ball from underneath you, but then stay here and bring the heels closer to the bottom and place the hands or fingertips on the heels. Drawing the knees in slightly will work your quads and stretch those. Still working through the back, but do squeeze the glutes together and stay there for 4 breaths. Now I'm going to come down and stretch out the legs. Once lengthened legs are there, relax the body in that position, and I'm going to take both arms again above the head. I'm going to stretch the whole body. Lengthening here from the lower back to the fingers, and I'm going to lift, can you see that, one arm at a time towards the back wall, stretching all the obliques in the side of the body, underneath the arm muscles there, stretching the armpits to the fingers. I'm going to do 2 more, so I've done 6 on each. That stretch feels really good on my back. And then both arms coming down. We're going to go into the 100, bringing one leg at a time up, relaxing through the back to give you a neutral spine. Drop the heels so they're in line with the knees and push the knees away. Now if I was there to correct you, I'd make sure that was in a nice right angle position or a corner of a square with my legs from my heel to the hips. So think of that. And then drawing a deep breath in, we're going to pump the thighs up for 100 pulses with my hands. Ten more. Now draw the knees in as the head comes down and rock left to right to release you. If the head tilts back, don't forget to use the block under the head. Now I'm going to use my Pilates ring, so if you have one, grab it now. Those that don't have a ring, I suggest you use the ball. We're going to place the pads of the ring inside of the knees and go back to a tabletop. Make sure that you're comfortable. Then you're going to pulse across the band, or you're going to use the ring to push in and away. So the alternative, sorry I didn't mention this, the band can go round the knees if you don't have the ring. So you can open and close against a resistance band or use the ball between the knees. I'm going to do 40 of these today to work the outside and inside of my thighs. You'll start to feel an uncomfortable muscle push now. Don't forget your breathing, especially if you haven't done classes for a little while. Now take the ring and place it above the head, taking the feet through the ring, and place the pads on the outside. Still in tabletop position, open and push your abductors against the pads on the ring. This one you do need the band for. This won't work with the ball. So if you have a band, just wrap it around the legs and tie it up if you don't have the ring. So you're opening and closing against the resistant band or against the pads on your ring. Each time I'm pulling open, I can feel the outside of my thighs contracting, and that's what I'm looking for. So if you can't feel that contraction, you're not opening the legs wide enough. If you do have that band there, just remember to tighten it if you don't feel these muscles contracting. Now I don't know about you, but these are the areas in which my muscles have gone a little soft. I'm I'm so used to doing 6 classes a day, and I'm only doing 1 now, just like everyone else. So these muscles are a little soft. So my point is you may find this difficult with the ring doing 40. So go to where it's more comfortable, or don't do so many. You'll feel great today, but tomorrow you'll probably find that those muscles will ache. Now we're going to do the same exercise, but this time we're going to add the ring or the pads just above the ankles, same with the band if you're using the band, and we're going to pull open against the ring or band. Again, this is working here, which is where I need it most. So you'll feel the tops of the thighs contracting, your abductors on the side, and also inside of the legs, so the adductor muscles are really having to work hard to push the feet or ankles against the pads or ring. Don't forget to breathe. The breathing will help you overcome any discomfort and help you to concentrate on which muscles are actually contracting. Now from here, place the band underneath the feet or the ring as shown. Now I'm going to push away a little way, but bring the feet closer to the head on this one. So with your band, make sure the hands are travelling up towards the feet, and the hands can hold the band further and closer. I may want to just show you what I mean there. It's very difficult to visualise what I'm trying to say. So if this is your band, you're walking the hands up the band and you're pushing your feet towards the head. So it's exactly the same exercise, but if you don't have the tool of the ring, and this is your band. Really good to work into the glutes and lower back on this one. 4 more when ready, making 30 here. Now you will need the band anyway now, so change the ring for the band, and then I'm going to hold with one leg at a time, working into 3 different planes of movement. Watch the bent knee in crook position, foot stays down. I'm going to bring the elbows close to my chest and take the leg up and down for 30 to start, and then I'm going to go side to side to work the abductor and adductor muscles again at the top of the thighs, and that leg's going to go across my bent knee and away. Now if you have just joined us, good morning. This could be played back any time. You don't have to do this first thing in the morning. It will be on Facebook and YouTube from here on, so if you need to repeat it and you feel as though this has benefited you, maybe just try and do one of these a day. So again, up and down when ready, feeling the stretch on that lengthened leg. Now I'm going to take it across and out to the side and across the other leg. Now just watch this bent knee. Control the foot or the heel to stay on the floor, and as I go over and away, you'll feel the lengthening of the outside of the leg and the inside. But try and keep the back on the floor in a neutral position so that the hips are not coming off the floor. Quite difficult as well, this one. So again, you should feel the stretch on the inside and outside of the thigh, just like you did with the ring. We're halfway. Last 5. So we're going to do 30 on the other leg, up and down, and then side to side like this. When ready, swap over or change. Now if the back is hurting, even in neutral position, don't forget you can place the ball under the coccyx. This will protect the lower back. So again, making sure that the heel stays nice and flexed, lower, and bring The toes towards the head and count to 30 drops. In breath as the leg comes up, out breath as it goes down, because the effort is on the push down, yes? And you should feel it in the lower back, in the hip. But watch this knees not bending on the other leg, make sure it's not wobbling. And don't forget that the stretch in this leg will make you feel amazing. Really good if you have started to run or walk a lot more. Notice here I've left the block comfortably under the head. If you don't have a block, use a pillow. This stops the head or chin from tilting backwards, keeping the neck nice and in line. Now these Pilates exercises can be done without the band. It's just I love the pull and the resistance of the band on the leg pulling down. Now side to side when ready. So open and cross, open and cross. And notice here I've got my hand on my hip on the other side so that I'm not wobbling the leg, pushing the hip down to keep the hip on, or the back on the mat. Last 5. Now again, this doesn't have to be a very large movement in order for those muscles to work fully. Last one. Now I'm going to really work my back and core, so caution is needed for those watching. I would suggest a ball under the coccyx or a pillow if you don't have one, and then place the feet inside of the band with a gap between the legs. A lot of the Pilates instructors out there that don't really use the ball. I have a really dear friend that teaches yoga and Pilates like I do, but always suggested using the Pilates ball to protect your back. Even if you don't have a back problem, you need to be careful. So from here, I'm going to drop both legs over that ball or pillow and bring them back up to the head. Today I'm going to do 45 of these. So if you get to 30 and you just can't do any more, take the knees to the chest. The lowering of the legs is when you should be breathing out, and if you want to progress, bring the head off the floor, working your back and tummy at the same time to look at the feet as they go down. So now we've got about 10 left. Well done so far. So if it gets too much for the head, take the head down, but carry on with the legs. Think about how you can adapt this to whatever's best for you. Five more. Last 2. Last 1. Now bring the feet up and walk the hands towards the toes, and just bring the feet by pulsing the legs with a straight knee towards the head to stretch the hamstrings. Now we're going to repeat an exercise we did earlier, but not with any aids. So I'm going to release the ball. Actually, I'm not going to release the ball. I'm going to release the band in the ring. We'll leave the ball there for now. You can take it away if you wish. I'm going to place my hands either side of that ball, and I'm going to scissor from here. So we did this seated at the beginning of the class this morning. We're dropping one leg at a time to work the top of the hip flexors here, the tummy muscles and lower back. And as you drop one leg, breathe and breathe. Now feel the work on both legs. But the main target of this exercise is the lower abdominal muscles, so you should really feel the stretch inside. So hence I'm leaving my ball there just to protect the coccyx on the lower end of the legs or feet. Lower end across the back there. I know that my hand's also protecting under my hips. Now I'm quite curvy, as you know me really well by now, so I have a little arch in the back where my waist is. So using the ball tries to keep the back in a nice neutral or natural position. So therefore no pain in the lower back. So that's again while I'm leaving the ball there. Or pillow if you don't have a ball, those watching. Now I am going to progress from this position after the next 10 drops, and I'm going to do a long bite, also working lower back and tummy. So when ready, drop the knees and push away with one leg, keeping one leg bent, then swap them over, as though you're on a long bike in the gym. And I'm going to do 60 of these, 30 on each leg, but it is optional what you want to do here. So the reason I moved there was to protect my coccyx. I brought my ball a little higher under the back. So again, if it hurts, just realise there that maybe you need to protect the coccyx or lower back. It's really good to protect the coccyx, mainly if you suffer with that already. A lot of people have maybe an extended tailbone or a little longer or a stronger one. And if it's on the floor, it's always the day after you feel it, so be aware of that protection there. Now I'm halfway, so I'm really feeling my lower back and tummy now. More. Now the progression of this is to lift the head. If you want to lift the head, you'll work your core a little more. Now draw the knees in to release your abs and rock side to side, but remove the ball at this point. Now I'm going to take one leg down, and I'm going to take with a bent knee out to the side and back, gently lowering the knee but trying to keep the other leg nice and still. And again working through my abductor muscles as I push on the outside of the leg and squeeze against the glute muscles. And I'm going to change legs. Now I've just done 20 on each leg, and I'm now going to come up onto my knees. So if you have a poorly knee, stay on your back. I'm going to do some cat positions into yoga positions in just a minute, but for those that can't bend on the knees, up and down pelvic floor tilts, okay? So once you're here on your hands and knees, for those that don't have a knee problem, we're going to work into the back. Now this yoga position is probably one of my favourite. I use it most of the time. Fantastic for back and tummy conditions. And really good as a cool down for those working the tummy. So keeping a gap between your hands and knees, draw a deep breath in. Pull the tummy muscles in and tuck your chin to look towards them. Then draw the heels down or the bottom to the heels. And then in breath to stretch the neck in the back and the bottom. Just make sure your hands are underneath the shoulders. Then repeat again, deep breath in, curl everything. Now notice here I'm holding for about 4 seconds, but then I'm going to do 16 changes from one to the other. Now can we go deeper on that push forward? So my head's going all the way to the floor before I lift my head and stretch through the neck, close the mouth and feel the neck lengthen. And then as I come down and pull up, stretching through my shoulders and my spine, pull the tummy muscles in like a piece of string. It's pulling the tummy through the back to the ceiling. And then I'm going to push through again, feel that stretch. I'm kind of holding 4 seconds or 4 breaths here. More from one to the other. Now if the wrist gets sore and you can't stay there, you can go lower, bringing the elbow to a fist to the floor. Two more here. Now I'm just going to go a little faster here from one to the other and do 4. Working through my back, not holding a position. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of class, working now on your bottom and thighs, which is where I need it most today. We're going to take one knee in slightly and take the leg out and back to the side for 20 lifts. Working here into your adductor and abductor muscles. We have done these before, but I haven't taught them for the last 2 weeks on the live, so I'm repeating them for you today. Really good for hips, fantastic for hip flexors, works into the glutes and lower back. Don't forget to breathe, even if you're counting. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to fully stretch my shoulders and lengthen into a shell pose from here. Forehead down and lengthen from the shoulders to the hands. Feeling the stretch through the back as well as in the palms of the hands as I stretch the fingers. And then I'm going to come up onto fours and lengthen my legs, walking the heels down, stretch my hamstrings one heel at a time. You may want the block under the heels if the heels don't go down. Fantastic stretch on the hamstrings from all the work we did at the beginning of the class. Now I'm going to hold that position in downward dog and push through my back and use the strength of my hands here to hold that lengthening through my spine to look towards the ankles. 2 more breaths here. Now I'm going to walk my feet towards the hands, place the hands over the feet and tuck in the head, and then bend the knees to roll up slowly into a Pilates roll up, bringing my shoulders back and down as my body comes up to standing. Feel the lengthening through your back. Now 2 rolls forwards and bring the arms to the ceiling. Stretch fully to hold for 2 breaths. I'm going to finish in Tandasana and then into Uttanasana and bring my foot to the calf muscle and hold this position into tree for 4 breaths. I'm going to bring my hands to the heart of my body to hold for another 4 breaths. Well done everyone. Other leg, we are nearly there. Turn out the knee a little further if you can. Hands to the heart and stay here for more breaths. Now bring your feet together and arms behind you and gently go up and down for 4 nice big stretches. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that, and then I'm going to hold that position after my 4 pulses and hold for 4 breaths, stretching your pectoral muscles and shoulders. Shoulder rolls back to follow the arms for 3, and then forwards for 2. To finish, cup your fingers and push away, stretch the chest and pull the tummies in. I'll turn again. You can see there, squeeze in your waistline, tummy in, and up to the ceiling. Namaste. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.